Now, many women struggle with their weight, right? Today, we feel more pressure than ever to fit a culturally driven image of beauty. But even though it's such a prevalent battle for us, there's a lack of real, honest dialogue out there. We keep many of our thoughts and our feelings about the strain that we experience in our daily lives to ourselves. Well, this morning's guest is changing that. Her first book, Passing for Thin, was heralded by critics, and now she has a new book out called Angry Fat Girls that taps into the real nature of weight loss with honesty and humor. Author Frances Kuffel is here in our studio this morning to tell us a little more about it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I have to admit, I had this on the airplane with me. This is a fantastic read, and it's funny, it's heart-wrenching. It's just a great new voice that's out there that so many women haven't experienced. What has your experience been since Passing for Thin? I know that original book was about your weight loss of 188 pounds, right?
Right.
Then what was next?
Well, I began to gain weight back. And at some point after Passing for Thin was published, Amazon offered authors the chance to start a blog on the Amazon site. And because I'd written an honest first book, I didn't see the point in trying to hide what was happening to me for readers. So I started to blog about gaining the weight back. And the response was tremendous from these women, and they became friends among themselves, and I was really just the master of ceremonies, but it got very intense when I was talking about the reasons I tripped up and the things that were going on in my life that were tripping me up. This was real, honest, real women talking about, I went to a wedding in the dress I bought 6 months ago and I could barely fit in it and I felt like a sausage.
What did you want people to know once you started the Amazon blog?
I didn't have anything in mind when I started the Amazon blog. It was just day by day, this happened, that happened. But there was a moment when someone responded to a blog piece and said, I wouldn't be alive today if Frances Kuffel hadn't gained weight.
Wow.
And I began to realize that it's such a pervasive problem, which the Center of Disease Control will, back me up statistically with, that an ordinary person building herself as a poster girl can actually make other people feel terrible. Yeah. And that somehow my failure allowed her to accept her own failure as just a human failing.
Right.
It's just human.
There's a character, Katie, that you talk about. And she has lost down to 160 pounds. And at one point in the book, she weighed so much that she ended up having to be weighed on a meat packing scale. And once she got down to 160, people were still calling her overweight.
What happens as you lose weight and you get into range of goal weight is that you usually have two sides. You have the people who are helping you with your weight loss, and they have a number in mind. And then there are the people on the outside, like your family or your friends, and they think you look so great that they may not think you need to lose more weight, or they may need you not to lose more weight. You may suddenly be threatening their place as thin and stable-bodied.
Oh, wow.
But then on the other side are the people who are saying, well, the Metropolitan life insurance chart says you should be 135, so you've still got 25 pounds to go. And it's a very big tug of war to be in that spot.
As the ladies that are watching the show this morning, what do you want them to know? What do you want them to get from this book when they run out to pick it up? Because I'm sure they will.
I hope so. I think the thing I want people to know the most is that regaining weight is it's organic. The body is meant to gain weight, and once you've been a certain weight, your body is clamoring to get back to that set point. So first of all, this is biologically built into the person who's struggling with weight gain. The second thing I would want them to know is that whatever you decide to do with your bigger body is okay, but don't do it until you really accept yourself and you really, really understand yourself. Until you really know yourself and until you really like yourself, being fat, being thin, it doesn't matter.
It's all about liking who you are.
Yeah.
Figuring out who you are and then just being that with grace. Well, you are empowering women with this book, and I certainly appreciate your time here this morning, and thank you for writing this.
Thank you.
It's a great book. You definitely need to pick it up. It's called Angry Fat Girls. Her website is franceskuffel.net. Be sure to check it out, and I suggest you pick up a copy. You will not regret it. We have more tips to help balance your life on the way. Keep it right here.